All right, ladies and germs, boys and ghouls, children of all ages, we are here at the shop. I'm getting ready to take off and head back home. It is the end of the day and it is beer 30 somewhere. However, I know you guys have questions. I know you're currently looking for a 56-inch double bank toolbox. I know that you're thinking about the Icon, but you want to know, is it really worth the value in buying the Icon versus getting something like this Gen 2 US General 56, right? Because it's also 56 inches. Now you guys know that I've been using and abusing this thing for several months now. You can go back to my last video feeds and how long ago exactly it was that I bought this box, but I can tell you, we have been beating and hammering the crap out of this thing. Yes, I did drill holes into my toolbox. I should have put some kind of, I don't know, OSB board or 3/4 inch plywood down and then done so, but I didn't. I actually drilled right across a cross member that runs across the inside of this toolbox. So 2 bolts on each side holds it down. We've been using this for brazing AC lines, for hammering on small things, even down to today's project where I had to actually bench bleed a master cylinder. So yeah, we use this vise a lot, half a dozen times a day. If it's not me, it's somebody else. If I'm not bench bleeding something, somebody else has got a alternator on here trying to push the ear in, somebody else is bench testing a starter, somebody else is over here with something else. We use the crap out of my vise on this toolbox. So a benefit to not having a stainless steel top, and I'll talk to you guys about that here in a little bit, is the fact that I actually do have more options. Now the stainless steel top is an additional option. You don't have to get a stainless steel top, but it is kind of nice to have. I've never actually had one before, and the way that it looks and overall feels, I think it's pretty duty. I might dare say that you might be able to rebuild the transmission on that thing. Okay, let's take a look at some dimensions because I know you want to know just how different is the 56-inch US Gen 2 versus the new Icon one that's been developed, and what makes this a great value for the price that you pay. I think I paid $6.50 with coupon, think it goes for $7.50. Sometimes it goes on sale for $700, but this is a phenomenal value and I'm going to show you why. Okay, so going to the width of the toolbox. Width of the toolbox comes in at 56.5 inches. That's just that's half an inch different than my Cornwell Pro Series toolbox that I paid over $3,800 for after tax. Okay, so already we're just a half an inch shy width-wise to match the Cornwell, and we're a half an inch past the Icon, which comes in at 56. Now let's see what the actual depth of this toolbox is. So from front to back, we are at 22 inches. So you do lose a little bit towards the front. On the Icon, we're sitting at around 25. You guys saw on the Cornwell, I think we're more closer to around 24. This one, you're coming in at 22. So you are losing some drawer depth, okay? Now let's see what we're looking at height-wise, and we'll count how many drawers this one actually has too, and compare that to the Icon and my Cornwell Pro Series. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 1 drawer less than the Icon has. I've got 2 drawers more than my Cornwell has. Let's take a look at the actual drawer height of a few different options that we have here and what makes this one so perfect for me and why I think it holds a great value here at our shop. So the first drawer doesn't run all the way across, which you will see on the Icon does, right? So, but what are we looking at for total height here as far as the drawer? So we're coming in at about 4 3/4 of an inch, basically just under 5 inches in total height for this top drawer. Let's go to the next drawer. Now we know that the Icon has about a 2-inch or just under 2-inch drawer height. Let's see what this one has. And we are at about, see, 2 3/4, just above 2.5 inches and just under 2 3/4 of an inch. So already we get a little bit more height out of this drawer. Not so skinny, still kind of a skinny drawer, but holds a lot, which you guys, if you haven't seen my toolbox tour, I'll throw a card up here in the corner for you guys to go back through and see one of my more recent toolbox tours that I've done with this thing. Okay, so the next one's going to be about the same height. This next one gets a little bit taller as far as its drawer depth or height goes. Let's see what we're looking at here. So here we're just at a solid 3.5 or just a 16th past 3.5 inches in total drawer height. The next one here, what we got, get this down in here, We are at 5 3/4 of an inch for that drawer. And then the bottom drawer should be just even a little bit taller. Let's see what this one comes in at. And we are at 7 3/4 of an inch for that bottom drawer. Okay, so overall, we got some really good dimensions here, okay? I'm able to fit a lot of blow molded cases in here. I can fit some really heavy stuff in here, okay? This drawer alone, I've got filled to the brim. Still pulls mostly all the way out. I think I have just a little bit of room here towards the back where it doesn't pull out, but for the most part, still pulls out quite a bit. This is a solid drawer. And again, for what it is that you're paying, this toolbox has a great value, right? You're not spending Snap-on money here, but I still feel like you're getting a great quality and an overall great value. Let's talk about one last thing before we wrap it up, and we'll head back. We'll check out my Cornwell Pro Series toolbox. We'll check out the icon, try to get you a little bit more information on that. One of the things that I talked about was the actual height of the toolbox itself from ground up, okay? I know casters play a role here, but let's just see how tall this is for not only my short guys, but for my tall guys too. Okay, so from floor up, we're at 41 3/4 of an inch in total height. So when we get home, you're gonna see that as a tall person on the icon, my elbow rests about here. And on my Cornwell, I think I'm approximately the same height as this toolbox. So if you're asking me what my professional opinion is, if I would have had to do it all over again, yes, I would have bought in the US General over the Cornwell toolbox all day long, avoiding that 18 to 20% interest rate, avoiding payments for 4 years. This has a better value overall. It's made out of a nice strong metal, and I've been using it for months. I even got the bench vise on there. That's something I haven't done with the Cornwell, but I'll show you some things that I don't like about the Cornwell outside of the extra added payments. Why did I go with the Cornwell to begin with? That's going to be your next question. Well, quite simply put, they didn't have the Gen 2 out. They still had the Gen 1s. The Gen 1s were a lot more janky, more rickety and crickety. There just was not, it just didn't feel like a quality box, where this one actually does have a lot of quality, and it does feel like it's better and more structuralized than the other one. So that's why I went this route. Also, the drawers were a lot different too. This one has more height and more depth than the other one did. That's my 2 cents as far as the US General. We're going to go back to the house now. We're going to talk about the icon. We're going to talk about the Cornwell. I'm going to answer some of your questions as far as those 2 toolboxes are concerned. But I leave it to you. As I've said in past videos, you're a grown-ass man, okay? You spend your money on whatever you want to spend it on. Don't think for a second that this box can't get you through the day-to-day grind as an automotive mechanic at an independent shop or a dealership. Let's head back to the house, we'll crack a beer, we'll talk about the icon and my Cornwell. All right, everyone, so we're back at the house now. We're going to be taking a closer look at the icon, and we're just going to see if the overall price of this toolbox actually is worth the value overall. Now, before we go ahead and dive into some of the dimensions and features that the icon toolbox come with, I want to explain one thing to you guys. A toolbox is a place to store your tools. The most valuable asset that you have as a mechanic in this profession are the tools that you use. Now, it took me a long time to be able to realize that. I'm being 100% honest with you, okay? When I first started off in this industry, I didn't have much. I barely had a pot to piss in, okay? I bought the Harbor Freight 4-drawer gloss black service car with tools that I'd already accumulated in community college, and I put them inside it. Before that, I had some buckets, and I had a couple other things like my Craftsman toolbox that tipped over and went sideways, drawers exploded. I got sick and tired of spending big money on boxes that just I was going to outgrow or weren't going to last. So when I went from the Harbor Freight 4-drawer when I was at Chrysler over to the DeWalt, I thought I was getting a terrific value based on the top and bottom chest, the overall width, depth, etc. I had a hood that opened and closed. My laptop could be in there. I could secure it. Some 2.5 years later, I started having glide issues. I started having tumbler issues. It wouldn't lock anymore. People would take things, they wouldn't put them back, or they would take them and they would move away, and I'd never see those tools again. I got tired of getting my tools stolen, not put back, and or lost. So I started locking my box up every single day. Every time I went to lunch, every time I left the shop, I would always lock my shit. So I bought a Cornwell Pro Series toolbox because overall I felt more confident in its security feature that it had. Not only that, but I liked the dimensions of it. The height, the width, the depth of each drawer, and the way that it was laid out was perfect for me, and it was something that I felt like I could grow on. I could actually add things on later down the line.
Now that was before Waterloo bought them out, and next thing you know, now I can't get any kind of accessory that goes with it. Then all of a sudden we lost our Cornwell rep, so now I really can't get anything done or fixed on it. So that sucks. And that was something else that brought me back to the cheaper boxes. I'm now in a position in my life where I've almost gone a complete 360, you know, going from cheap to expensive, back to cheap, back to expensive, back to cheap. There's a reason for that. There is a terrific value in getting a less expensive box. You can put more money back in your pocket, okay, as a result. You're still going to get a lot of the features and benefits of a box that you're looking for. Looking at something like this should be looked at no differently than looking at, say, a Cornwell, a Snap-on, or a Matco. They are similar, okay? They share a lot of similarities and features. And I'll show you a picture down here in the corner of the Matco 4S or 5S that also has USB ports and 110 plugins incorporated in the box. Now we don't have a Snap-on KRL for me to be able to open this drawer and show you the power bank option that it has. And I'm sure you can go to a lot of other channels that actually have Snap-on KRLs and they can show you. I can't show you the Snap-on KRL where you open it up and it's got little slots for your cordless tools or your air tools where you can line them all up and set it in here. Okay? These are the extra features and benefits that come with a more expensive box. Now the stainless steel top is a plus all on its own. I've never actually had one. Wanted one, never had one. In fact, you guys just saw me at work with the US Gen 2. I don't even have a piece of wood on top of that thing. I literally drilled that vise right into the toolbox itself. Now, I'm not going to go out of my way to drill holes into the top of this stainless steel top or this box itself. Somebody asked me a long time ago if I would have done that to my Cornwell box. Yeah, because it didn't have the same value behind it that it did when I first bought it, okay? I started to be like, you know what, it's a box, I'm going to beat it up, that's what it's meant for. I've thrown cylinder heads on that thing, I've beat it up, I've set engines on top of it, the box still held up. I've done the same exact thing with that US Gen 2, okay? Same exact thing. Am I going to do the same exact thing with this one? I don't know. Time's going to tell. I need a little bit more time to play with it. To me, it doesn't make sense to take it to work, empty all my drawers out of Gen 2, put it all in here, only to take everything back out when I go to exchange a couple drawers, only to put it all back in. Makes no sense to me right now. Right now, I'm still trying to get used to it. I'm trying to measure, get dimensions, see if the tools that I have would actually fit in here, what's going to be best used, or what's going to be a better option to have at my shop. Currently, there's not one person in my shop that doesn't use that benchtop vise and my toolbox as a workbench. I'd like to keep it that way. Now, there is one more thing that my boss did say that he liked most about the Gen 2, that this box, the Icon, that Snap-on, that the Cornwell Custom Series has that those ones don't. And that is the low profile. We were talking about on the Gen 2 how it sits a little bit lower and how sometimes it's kind of nice to have a box that sits up here, that sits up a little bit higher. That's a nice feature to me as a tall person, especially if I ever plan on putting a hutch here. Or if I never use the work surface. But clearly I've already been using the work surface. I love having a work surface. But say you are working on the work surface. One of the features that he said that he liked about a low profile toolbox is the fact that you can get more leverage. If I'm working on a cylinder head up here and I'm trying to drill or tap something out, or I need to take a breaker bar and pry down, I've got to be up on my toes to get the leverage and support that I want. But if I have a toolbox that sits a little bit low profile, say like maybe about here, well then I got more leverage. I got all the leverage in the world, right? Because it sits a little bit lower. So how tall is the Icon toolbox? I'm sure that's what you guys want to know. Let's just find out. So from the floor up, we're at 46.5 inches. Now that is with the stainless steel top, which adds just under 1.5 inches of extra height. To answer your question, what is the overall width? Okay, the width of this toolbox is pretty much spot on and exactly 56 inches. Now, the Harbor Freight Gen 2 or US General is 56.5. We saw that. We're going to take a look and see what this Cornwell Pro Series is here in a minute. What is the total depth? The total depth is 25 inches. So we get a few extra inches there. Other than the US Gen 2, okay? That came in at 22, now we're at 25, so now we're getting a little bit deeper, right? So that might have an option for you. We no longer have to start off with staggered drawers. We're actually starting off with 2 drawers that run the entire length of the box, which could be an extra added benefit or feature for you as a mechanic. So opening it up, it does go from front to back, opens all the way up, goes all the way across. So if you want to set all your sockets, torque wrenches, this, that, and the other in here, you can. Okay, that's your option to do so. That's another reason why I like the Cornwell, another reason why I went the Cornwell route, because I was going to have that full length drawer option. Number two, so if you're like me now, once upon a time ago, and you'll see here on the Cornwell box, or if you haven't, you can look at my past toolbox tours, you'll see that I actually utilized this second drawer, which I already felt was kind of skinny, as my wrench drawer. And literally every single crazy different style wrench all the way up to about here, I had inside this second drawer. And then I have my screwdrivers, Torx drivers, and a couple other little things. It actually made sense to me. The overall functionality of the toolbox was working, okay? That's what I liked about it. A comment that I recently received, and I kind of got to agree with here, is that these drawers, from brand new, mind you, I've only had it for 48 hours, you open this thing up, they are a little bit difficult on the initial pullout. Man up, I don't know what you want me to tell you, okay? They close, they lock in real good, that seems pretty stationary. Let's get one thing straight, man. When it comes to a toolbox like this should be overflow only, okay? You should be running out of a service cart from bay to bay if that's what you're getting ready to do. Or one of those Rubbermaid carts, okay, going from bay to bay. Or a little tiny oil cart. You shouldn't have to be pushing this bastard all over the shop. Once you get this in the shop, it's pretty much stationary. If you're running back and to and from your toolbox all day, you're wasting so much time, and time is money spent, okay? Because time is money. And if you're just spending your time walking back and forth, you're spending it, okay? You're not making anything at that point. You're wasting it. This box is going to get put in one place and stay there. Ask me how I know, okay? My toolbox has been pretty much stationary ever since I've got to the dealership when I had this Cornwell one, to the Harbor Freight one that I have currently at work. I have a service cart for that reason. I'll show a picture down here. That service cart is my go-to. That's my guinea pig, okay? I run that bunny out all over the shop. It is a freaking phenomenal cart. So, the biggest question that I have right now that everyone's asking me, Justin, honest opinion, unbiased opinion, would you today buy this toolbox? My answer in short, no. I don't have a need for a big toolbox, okay? I really don't. I've got my Harbor Freight Gen 2 at work, I've got my service cart at work, I've got my Cornwell 56 here at the house, okay? I was asked if I wanted to review and check out their 56-inch toolbox, and I'm really excited about this toolbox, and I'm very much appreciative to have this toolbox to be able to do reviews with you guys on and put to the test, whether it be the real world of the automotive shop on the day-to-day grind, or whether it's here putting in construction tools. Maybe you are a general contractor and you want to know, is it worthwhile in getting a toolbox to put my, cordless construction tools in? Is it worthwhile in putting my bits and so forth in? Most of you that are in the field are probably like, fuck that, I put them in contracting bags and throw them in the back of my truck. Or I leave all my tools in the back of the truck. I don't have to worry about my neighborhood. It's all safe. Or at the end of the day, I have it all on shelves and I have, French cleats, or I hang them up on pegboard, or whatever the case may be. Everyone has a different style of organization. So how many different variations, how many different trades out there can this toolbox possibly be used for? That's my question. Can we use it for plumbing? Can we use it for carpentry? Can we use it for roofing? Can we use it for masonry work? What is its limitations? The limitations are unlimited at this point. We don't know because we're waiting for other people like you to go out and buy one. But you want to know, is it worth buying? I don't know. It's your money. You're going to spend it how you want to spend it. Some other likable features about this thing. So I do like the fact that I can actually take two cords, plug them into the wall, and I got power going down to a secured lock drawer. So if I'm at a dealership or I'm at a place or establishment that I don't trust and I want to be able to make sure that all my batteries get charged and that no one's inter-swapping my batteries for their dead pieces of crap or taking off with my cordless tools or air tools, I got a drawer that'll now charge them. That's freaking awesome. And if you're at work and you're on the fly and you don't have access to any kind of a power source of any kind without running some kind of an extension cord, run that extension cord out to the full length of the wall, get plugged in, still have your power capabilities here, okay? If you want to throw something additional on top, or you want to throw your cell phone up here with USB, you want to plug your laptop in, you have that capability. There's a reason why a lot of people that buy the Matco 4S and 5S love that option. Now with the snap-on, you're going to have it back here probably on the top of the stainless steel top, okay? I don't know if they've actually started to incorporate that option on their toolbox, so that's a likable feature. So, we talked about width, we've talked about depth, we've talked about height of the drawer, I think. Let's just check it out for the top drawer, just in case we didn't. Coming in at about 5 inches total in height, okay, for that first drawer. Second drawer, coming in at 2 3/4 inches in height. Look, I've done the measurements before. I know other people have too. If you haven't checked out Chris from Client Graphics, check him out. If you didn't see the video that I did when I went to Covina, check it out. You'll know that one of my biggest complaints was there were a lot of skinny drawers. But I had a lot of you say, I love having skinny drawers because I put my screwdrivers and my wrenches in those things and yada yada yada. Great. That's the way that you like to have your toolbox set up. It's whatever works for you. Not, hey, you should do what I do, okay? You are your own man. You don't need me to tell you how to set up your toolbox. Let's get real for a minute. I'm explaining to you what it is that I like and dislike. So if I was to change any of these out, I would probably interswap those two for one that was slightly deeper, be it a 4-inch or what have you, okay? I love that drawer depth here, here, here. I love having at least one skinny drawer that runs all the way across. I don't even mind having 2 over here. But for these two, I'd probably change those out for a 4-inch. That's what I would do, okay? That's how I like my box set up. Alright, so I wanted to back up enough just so you could totally see the floor to the top of the box and some of the differences. Now on the Icon, I'd be resting my shoulder somewhere right around here. This Cornwell sits a lot lower, so let's see what the total height is for it. Total height is 39.5 inches in height. One of the complaints that I had, and the reason why I didn't buy a hutch initially and I tried to make my own, was because this was sitting so low. By the time I put the hutch on, the hutch would be right around here at eye level. That's going to be way different on the Icon. The Icon does sit up a lot taller, so those of us that are 6 foot and above, it actually is going to be a lot more comfortable for you to actually work, get into, and be underneath that hutch. Now I don't have a hutch to show you as an example. Maybe one day we might go that route. I myself, from what you guys can tell, I've never had really a hutch. I did try to build one myself once. So hutches, you can either take them or leave them. It's never really been a big deal for me to not have one. I enjoy having a work surface, as you can already tell. Between this box, the one I have at work, and the Icon. Okay? It's always nice to have a work surface, a place to move things around and not feel like you're encapsulated. Let's go ahead and talk about the width of this toolbox. So the width from one end to one end is 57 inches on this Cornwell Pro Series toolbox. The total depth of the Cornwell toolbox from back to front comes in at 24 inches. So we lose about an inch total in depth, we gain an inch total in width. You saw the height, obviously there's a big height difference. How many drawers? So this Cornwell we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drawers. Alright guys, so there it is pretty much in a nutshell. You got my opinion, you got some specs off of the US Gen 2. You got my opinion, you got some specs off the Icon. You got my opinion, and you got some specs off the Cornwell Pro Series. So now you got 3 different 56-inch double bay toolboxes to compare to. If we're going to compare oranges to oranges or apples to apples, is the Icon exactly the same as a Snap-on? No, but it has a lot of similar features. It is made out of a better quality of metal than the General 2. It has different drawer options that the US General 2 doesn't have. It has different accessory options that the US General doesn't have. But you know what the US Gen 2 has that the Icon doesn't? Affordability. And most of you guys out there that are DIY, shade tree, or just starting off as mechanics should be looking at the overall value and how much you actually want to spend, okay? I know that Harbor Freight very soon is going to be coming out with a credit line at 0%. Now 4 years ago, I think I made the mistake in buying this and jumping right onto this, okay, at an 18% interest for 4 years worth of payments. This is, I still love and enjoy this toolbox. It is a desk now here at the house, okay? I do all my YouTube stuff on here. I got all my woodworking tools in here. It's been a phenomenal box overall, but there are features that I don't like about it. Okay, the lift and latch system, I think, was by far one of the worst designs. The US Gen 2 with the slide latch system, you know what? I like it better than this one. Now the tough drawer option that we have here with the Icon, where it's a little bit tougher to pull on, I like that, okay? That's a nice, likable feature. What I didn't like about this is the cost, the interest rate, the payments over time. Those of you that don't understand why I like it as much as I do, go back and look through some of my Toolbox tours that I've done. You'll see how I've organized everything and why I like it the way that I like it. Now, it's going to take me a little bit of maneuvering and switching things in and out. A lot of you might not realize this, but it actually takes time to organize a toolbox. You try taking all your tools and all your possessions that you have in something that's already 56 inches wide, that already has a drawer for everything that you've listed off, and then add a new toolbox to the mix that's the same exact basic dimension, a little bit different, and then try to reorganize it to where it fits, okay? It takes time, man. It takes time. You got to figure out what's going to fit in what drawer. Is it going to be better for you at the shop? Is it going to be better for you at the house? You know, you got to kind of go back and forth. And that's what I'm kind of going through right now. I'm trying to decide whether I want the Icon box here at the house or if I want it at the shop. You know, it's a big decision for me because right now, like I said, we're using that US General every day, beating stuff on it every day. And it is cheap enough for me to be okay with that, okay? I know guys that I currently work with at the shop that have spent $4,000, $5,000, $8,000 on their box with stainless steel top and everything that still to this day refuse to beat anything on it. My question is why? You spend all that money on this toolbox, you get the stainless steel top so you can beat things on it and it not affect your toolbox, but they don't want to scratch it, right? They don't want to put the kind of hurt locker behind it that this daily grind can take. I've already been putting cylinder heads on top of my Jamestown stainless steel surface, already putting stuff together on there, beating the hell out of it, okay? That's what I do. Now, I'm not saying this box couldn't handle it. I absolutely think it could totally handle it. But is it going to be right for me at the shop right now? I don't know, okay? Give me a little bit of time to play with it. Alright, so let's break it down before we wrap up today's video with my final thoughts. Icon 56-inch double bay toolbox. Is the value there? Is it worth the $3,200 that it's currently listed at with coupon? Is it worth the $4,000 listed without coupon? I'll let you make that determination. For me, my unbiased opinion, yes, absolutely. Why do I say that? It's not because they gave me a free toolbox, as sweet as this thing is. It's because I've spent $3,800 on this piece of shit, and I've been making payments on it for 4 years. I'm pretty sure I probably spent about $8,000 on this. So if there's a credit option out there for you for something like this that's 0% interest that you can get for $3,200, and you can pay that off in 12 months if you really put forth the effort, yes, there's a greater value in this Icon toolbox than there is against this Cornwell Pro Series. Now, all this being said, there is a extremely great value in the US Gen 2 toolbox that I have, okay? I actually really enjoy and love having that toolbox. I find there to be a greater value in that US Gen 2 than this Cornwell. Had they had the US Gen toolbox, had they had the US Gen 2 toolbox when I was looking at toolboxes, I may not have bought this, and I would have gone with that. Because at $650 with coupon, $750 without coupon, it is a phenomenal deal. Especially if you can get two stacked up side by side. You're talking about a $1,400, 112-inch toolbox. Why not? You know what I'm saying? 112, 113 inches in width with 22 drawers, okay? Dude, are you kidding me? If that's not a value in comparison to the Icon, in comparison to this, and you can make your own power bank drawer from there, you can drill holes, hog them out with a hole saw. There is a tremendous value behind the Gen 2. I'm still using it, I'm using it every single day, and it's been phenomenal. Alright guys, look, that's enough of my jibber jabber. I hope you enjoyed today's content. Now that's my 3 cents worth, comparing 3 toolboxes for you. So if you're currently in the market looking at an Icon toolbox, or you're currently in the market looking for a US Gen 2 toolbox, or you're in the market for a toolbox in general of 56 inches or greater, and you're considering a Cornwell, let me urge and encourage you to rethink everything and to go back through all the specifications, go look at this damn thing, okay? Before you buy, go look at it. figure out the features that you want in a toolbox, and then make your best decision from there. This is not me spending your money, this is you spending your money. You need to do the research. I can only go so far and show you so much. It's up to you to make that decision. But don't think for a minute that this holds a great value to me. It is a good toolbox for the most part, but it does not hold the same value to me that that US General does. It does not have the same value that this Icon toolbox does. In my opinion, this is a lesser toolbox between the two. One cost $700, this one comes in at $3,200. This one's probably going to be closer to $8,000 when it's all said and done. That's all I got for this video, guys. Thanks as always for watching. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, hit the thumbs down. Share if you want to share. Put your comments down below. But my overall answer is this. Is there a value in the toolboxes sold at Harbor Freight, be it Icon or US General, and can we honestly use them in a professional environment? Yes. Can we compare some of the features to other tool brands out there? Yes. That's all I got for this video. We'll see you guys next time. Deuces.